Hey, how you guys doing? So in this quick lesson here, I'm going to show you guys how to do action poses. And action poses really come down to thinking about all the stuff that you've learned about drawing figures and doing gestures and things like that. So what I like to do, I'm going to do a pose here where I'm going to imagine the arms, like kind of the gesture of the arms kind of come out like this. And that's like a simple gesture line, right? And then another simple gesture line will be of his midsection coming down like this. I'm going to have the head kind of facing forward. Now he used to be kind of like maybe like jumping back up in the air, like superheroes typically do. And so I'm going to have the halfway point here for his, let's see, imagine his upper body here. I'm going to kind of draw an oval like this. We're kind of seeing the top part of him a little bit here. So we're seeing the top part of his, the traps will come down here, and then his deltoids. Just kind of imagine the parts of anatomy and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll add some parts of anatomy as I'm drawing. Other times I won't. The chest will be foreshortened a little bit here. I'm going to make it a 3/4 kind of view, so I'm going to show more of this. I'm going to show a little bit of the side view. One quick way to kind of do that is kind of have your rib cage kind of come like this, and have that kind of side plane right here, so you kind of know you're in that 3/4 view. I'm going to come down to like a narrower hip structure. Again, come down. I like to draw this kind of shapes almost like underwear, and I do a 3/4 view. This one has a bigger side because it's going to show some of the side view than that side over there, so it kind of shaped like that. And then from this, I'm going to go ahead and draw off my legs and everything. So I'm going to have my leg come down here. And I'm just going to kind of imagine first with just some gesture lines first like that. And I might go ahead and make him a little bit taller. So I like longer legs. And superheroes typically have longer legs. So let's kind of really pull this leg down here like that. And this one's going to come kind of like toward us. So I'm going to have it being foreshortened. And then coming back like this, and the foot coming down. The arms come out like this. At this stage, I also start to add, some like slight anatomy, or I don't know what you want to call it. It's not quite anatomy. It's more of, I suppose it's a mix between anatomy and just kind of like mannequin drawing, I guess. All right, so this right here is gonna be like the buttocks. Love handle there, love handle here. So come down like this. All right, so once I have this stage of the drawing down, I'm going to pull in and start adding some more mannequin shapes here. Remember that the inside of the foot is the side of the foot with the, so always the inside of the leg, the inside, that's the side with the big toe. So if you ever get like confused where the big toe is, that's where it's always at. Right, so that right there be like an easy way to like draw like an action pose. And he's a really buff guy, but I can always make his head a little bit bigger, and then he won't look quite as buff. And that's really all the information you need to actually have, and also the thumbs are on the inside of the arms too. That's really all I need to have like a cool drawing, I think, of of a pose that you need. That is, all the information you need to actually save, I guess you can say. This would be enough information for you to build on and be like, okay, I can take this information. Let's go ahead and make this like bigger as well. It's enough information. You can take this information and then turn it into an actual drawing. You don't really need more information than this. I'm thinking about a lot of the side view planes here of the leg. We're seeing some side view. We're seeing the inside side view of this leg here. Side view all right here. Right, and we're kind of seeing the kind of top-down view of his head a little bit. So the camera's kind of above him a little bit. So yeah, he looks pretty cool. I like that idea of a pose. And then we can go ahead and take this and finish it off. So I think what I'm going to do is show that. Right, so then at this stage, if I want to take this more to a completed drawing, at least anatomy-wise, then I'm going to, more completed, I can add, outfits and things like that to them. But for now, I'm just going to work out just the muscle tone and stuff. Actually, I don't want to make a copy of that. I just want to make a new layer. I'm going to take that layer, the sketch layer, I'm going to turn it down. I'm going to be drawing on top of that layer. I'm going to lock it so I don't accidentally draw on it. And then this is where I zoom in. So I already have everything proportion, all that looks good to me. So I just want to go ahead and zoom in. If not, I would go and correct a lot of that stuff. And I know one thing here is, I think the neck and stuff, I want just a little bit more of the neck showing here than what I have in the drawing, I think. Kind of like this. And I want to show the collarbone kind of coming out this way. So I'm kind of bent like this. Show the muscles here. You have like a kind of muscle here in the middle. I want to kind of show some of that. And this last muscle, the part that kind of attached to the collarbone, I'm not going to show it fully attached to the collarbone. I'm going to kind of show a little bit here. I'm going to show a little bit of it here where it attaches like that. Show this line overlapping for the tricep. Elbow. We're going to show the bicep here. And so what I'm thinking about is I'm thinking about all the anatomy. So I know I have this third muscle in between the two. Brachialis, the radial brachialis, that muscle coming up and over like that. So what I'm thinking about as I'm doing this is I'm thinking about the anatomy, where muscles attach, things like that. I'm working it out. So a lot of it's already worked out here for me in my sketch, but there's a lot of things here that aren't quite correct in the sketch either. The chest muscle should actually come down a little bit further, like this here. Kind of have a shape like this and come up there stretching. So it actually pulls kind of up into the armpit area there. I might add some detail of his muscles here. The chest muscles are pretty flat, so I'm going to keep it flat with just a little bit of shading on the edges here. Like so. This muscle I'm not going to be able to see nearly as much. It's going to come up like that, but it's going to kind of have an overlapping of that skin flap and this muscle here. It's more like flex because it's coming up more rounded, so it has more of a rounded shape to it. I'm going to show that. Remember, I'm using the same lighting source as I always use for my base sketches, unless this is the easiest way for me to think and fast way for me to think and draw in. If I want to change it up, then I'll go ahead and have to think more about stuff, so that's why I kind of just leave it like this. Alright, so I'm thinking about each individual shape as it overlaps each other. Where the light might be hitting these different muscles. Darkest part right there where you have that kind of like armpit happening. You're going to see some of the latissimus dorsi coming down right here. And I know I have to have his love handles here before his buttocks. So his love handles has to be somewhere in this area. So I want to add the love handles in here. I know they have the shape that kind of comes down like this. It all depends on how buff he is, how much of that shape you're going to see. The love handle is a much more flat muscle, so you're not going to see nearly as much shadowing on it. There might be some ripples of skin right here. There's some wrinkles rather, not ripples. Ripples are different than wrinkles. You're going to have some serratus muscles come out this way and then down to the rib muscles. I'm just going to show a few of those. It's usually only a couple of them you'd actually see anyway. And then this right here is going to be more of an open muscle area like that. These are kind of formed like that. I'm going to go ahead and start adding in the ab muscles. Now he's kind of crunching his front right here, this whole front part. He's crunching it forward. And then he's kind of bending. So if you were to see him from a side view, he's kind of like, his spine's like this, his top chest. This is his top chest, and then his like this, so his legs kind of come like that. So he has this kind of C curve to him. So he's kind of coming at us at that C curve, and that's why I'm drawing him the way I'm drawing him. Alright, so some of the anatomy is a little hard to make out, some of it's easy to make out. I know that the abs are actually going to come way over here because we have some foreshortening going on here with the 3/4 turning of the body. I'm going to do some hard lines here, give them some nice defined abs. And the abs are typically flat, so for the most part, it's just a little bit of shadow that brings them out. Otherwise they'll look too lumpy. Another ab right here. Make that one thinner. Coming down here and here. I'm just going to lightly hint at that one with the belly button. And then these abs I'm not really going to show much detail for at all. Just a little bit of light shading. How dark the shading is shows how deep and defined everything goes in. There's usually a couple muscles right in here too, is like this. Where the ribs and stuff go into. Now I'm only going to see a little bit of the latissimus dorsi on this side, and then a little bit of the love handle is actually going to stick out even more than that. That's going to be mostly all in shadow. The love handle might get just a little bit of light, so I'm going to just show that right there. And all the rest of this is going to be more in shadow. I'm going to come down. I'm not going to give them any genitals or anything like that. I think that would be kind of inappropriate for YouTube. I know I have a lot of younger people. I'm not going to call you kids or anything. Younger people though that watch this channel a lot. So there's that hip bone right there. I want to show that coming down into the leg right here. So far I think the anatomy is looking pretty all right. And this is just how, if I want to take this even further I could, but I think for the first sketch and just kind of getting everything how I want it, I think it's looking pretty good. I'm not going to do the face. I'll just kind of structure in the chin and stuff. Kind of show how that right there would be like the hairline and stuff. But just kind of show where things would end up. Alright, so we have that part of the neck muscle there. And the neck muscle is kind of disappearing out this thinner muscle. Then you have a little bit of the neck connecting right here like that. Some darkness will shadow because the head is casting a shadow all along here. Might actually go like something like that. So I'll just call that the head shadow. You have his trap muscles come out back here. And of course this isn't like true to life. A real person might not be able to do all this, so. And actually I think in this case the deltoid is going to come in front of the trap. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's make the deltoid come in front of the trap muscle. The trap muscle is going to be more in the back. Again, I want to show that this where it connects here. That's where the collarbone's connecting into the trap. You have that kind of muscle goes like that. Then another ones that come off like this, and then another one that comes off here and it's going to overlap the pec muscle a little bit like that. And overall, this thing's going to receive a shadow kind of like that if you just think about the overall shape. So I'll deal with the overall shape first, and then I'll kind of deal with some of the individual shapes like this. Kind of add the shadow into that. It's kind of come over like that. A little bit of this would be shadowed as well because it kind of it's dipping down. It like has a form that comes up right here and a form that comes up right here, and this is the part of the ball that's receiving most of the light. Alright, remember the bicep comes right out of where the pec comes up into, connects to the same bone, and the bicep comes out as well. And so these are all the things I'm thinking about as I'm turning this into like a semi-decent sketch. I'm thinking about all these different things. This muscle is going to come out. So you have the brachioradialis right here, or the brachialis coming like that between the bicep. Then you have the brachioradialis coming off of that muscle, off that same bone. And it kind of comes out like this. And this muscle kind of connects with another muscle together. And they form this big muscle right here that usually kind of looks like this. And then you go to that straight part of the wrist like that. And I'm going to have more shadow here. Like that. Let's add some shadow to the tricep here. Can't see the elbow from this angle. The arms turn too much to the side. The bicep is going to kind of receive light kind of like this. There's going to be a little bit of shadow over here as well. Then the bicep kind of inserts into here. There's this like kind of groove where this muscle comes, and they have another muscle comes like this, comes across this way. And then I think it's called the patella or something like that. I said I really don't memorize all the names of the muscles. It's not important. What's important is that you know where they go, where they attach, what they do, how they move, how they stretch. And man, that can take years to get down. Remember, this muscle comes all the way down to the thumb. And the thumb's going to be right here, like this. It's going to be bending down. We're not really going to see it. And then the fist is going to come like this. Come down. You're going to be able to see like the knuckles. Something like that. And then you'll have a little bit of the finger here. You'll be able to see it like that. And then wrinkle, wrinkle. And then that kind of wrinkling like this. This part of the thumb. That's part of the finger being shadow. On shadow. Most all this edge here is going to be in shadow. I might have really just exaggerated that a little too much. It's going to come to kind of a straight. And there'll be a little bit of a bump right here for the bone, and it's going to kind of come straight like that. And again, with the sketch like this, you're not going like for total perfection or anything like that. A lot of this side of the face is all going to be in shadow. Eyes will be in shadow. This part of the nose, all this part of the face here is going to be in shadow. Lips, underside of the lip, chin. So I can just at least start to hint at, you know, the idea of the face. So it's all going to be in shadow. That wing part of the pec muscle. Right, so there's a lot of thinking going on, you know, in this process of the drawing. You're really thinking about, well, where does light hit, where do muscles attach? And there's so much knowledge there. You have to think about all the knowledge of form that you've learned. If you haven't taken my courses, you've learned it from somewhere else. And how form works. If not, I do have a whole entire course, a big bundle course, how to draw and paint comics. And in that course, how to draw and paint comics, I go through it's like a big mega course, bundle course, and it goes through all the fundamentals, the stuff you want to know for like how, like for example, form, how it works, perspective, lighting, how it lights up things. And this is like universal form, how form applies to really everything, from cars to people to muscles. And once you understand how form works, it makes it much easier to actually shade anything, not just to shade muscles and stuff. It also goes through a little bit of anatomy, drawing human figure, drawing faces. Has some Photoshop, has a whole Photoshop course, Photoshop 7. It's kind of an older one, but yeah, it's got all kinds of stuff in there, really cool. I also have an anatomy course, anatomy for figure drawing and comics, so that is going to be very helpful. That's a very in-depth course about muscles and how they work and stuff like that. That course will be very helpful if you want to get to this level here. But you first need to start with those fundamentals of like how to light things. And obviously all this side here is going to be darker. This is one thing, for example. This whole side of the body is going to be darker because it's turned more away from the light. So I'm going to kind of just darken all of it. Even though it's already shadowed and shaded, I'm just going to kind of darken it all some more. And then therefore, yeah, I'm going to lose some of the detail in the shadow, which is fine. It's kind of what you want anyway. You want your detail to be more in the light, not so much in the shadow. Right, so he's starting to look pretty cool. Now this arm here is going to be kind of hard to think about and figure out. It's just the way it's working right now is a little different. So you have that one muscle coming off here, and it's kind of overlapping. You might be able to see a little bit of the elbow right there. Let's go ahead and kind of shadow in the tricep muscle there a little bit. Right, so then you have these two muscles. I kind of think of a whole group of muscles that kind of come off of that brachialis. There's like two of them that mainly come out. But one of them wants to come down to this thumb here. So I want to imagine that shape right here, like that. And the other one wants to come on to the other side of the arm. But one comes to the finger. But first they have that muscle kind of like that come off to the finger. Then you have another muscle coming off like this. That's not supposed to be that big. So it's going to come like this right here. I need to turn my monitor, so it's hard to do this line in that weird angle. This would be equivalent to turning your piece of paper like so. We'll go ahead and start shading some of this. Right, like that. Then you're going to have this, the under muscle I talked about over here, that kind of comes out like that. That causes that kind of groove for the insertion point of the bicep. And all this is going to be dark and shadow. You'll lose a lot of the detail. And the other muscle comes off of that, and it's going to kind of come like this. And this is where the arms will look a little bit thinner from this angle. I didn't mean to make that line go over there like that. You know, you can be slow and deliberate with your movement of your pencil, and it's going to make it to where your lines work together a little smoothly, more smoothly than what I did when I was trying to go fast. Alright, so that's starting to work out pretty good. And then the fist, I'm going to have it to where I have that same kind of look here as I did before, except this is going to have a little bit of the front plane of the hand here like this. This right here is going to be like the middle knuckle coming out right here. And then the last two knuckles and like that pinky knuckles back there, but it's being overshadowed like that. Mainly it's that middle knuckle you can see here, and then you're going to be able to see a little bit of that first finger, your pointer finger, coming off like this with the thumb. Thumb comes out like this as this big ball of meat, all right here, this like big ball of meat, imagine that. And then have it come here, and it's your thumb's going to wrap underneath the finger. So the finger's going to come down, and it's going to kind of come like that. We're going to see it, and the thumb's going to go back underneath it, so we're not going to be able to see the thumb part. I want to kind of overlap that. Let's add some shadow all along here. Might make the wrist a little bit thicker. So I can already see I kind of messed up with the anatomy there a little bit, but whatever, it's fine. It's just a quick sketch. You can fix it later. I just don't want this video going too long. You can kind of maybe try show a transition of planes with shadow like that and kind of show it's a top plane. That kind of looks weird, doesn't look quite right, but it's pretty close. I don't like the way all this looks, so I'm going to change it. I don't know, sometimes I'm too much of a perfectionist, and it makes it difficult when I'm trying to just do quick type of renderings. Anyway, so that's good enough. All right. Now the buttock muscle is going to show here a little bit because we have a little bit of the side plane that we're seeing here. So we're going to see a little bit of the buttocks muscle right here, and then we're going to see the leg muscles kind of coming off of that, like so. And with these muscles, there's all kinds of muscles we can see. So let's start from the kneecap. I think it's easiest sometimes doing that. If you start from the kneecap, kind of go like this here. You have that little bit of muscle on the other side over here that comes down and forms, and then you have the shin muscle that comes this way. And that calf muscle is a little bit like that. You're going to be able to see it just a little bit. All that's going to be in shadow though. And you'll have the top part of the foot kind of comes like that. The ankles on that side is going to kind of be out of view. We'll be able to see this ankle a little bit like this. I'm thinking whether or not we can see, yeah, I think I'd be able to see a little bit of the heel back there, but this isn't coming in front of it. Kind of like that. You'll be able to see a little bit of the side plane of the foot. That's kind of that top plane like that. That looks pretty good. All right, now when we're doing the knee, it's going to be really tricky, this part here. These muscles are kind of strange. This muscle kind of fits right onto the kneecap, so it kind of has a shape like this, like that, and then comes off of it. And it comes up like this. Let's go ahead and shadow that darker part of the shadow for right now. Then we'll shadow the whole thing, because this whole side of the leg. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and add the shadow that's on this whole side of the leg first. And I'll add a little bit of detail into that shadow. Right, you're going to have a couple muscles in here. Caused from like the serratus muscle and things like that, because you have like a serratus muscle comes right here and comes all the way around over here. Then you have that middle muscle that is right here, and then that's going to connect to another muscle that's a little bit higher on the knee. It's more like right about here it starts. You might be able to see a little bit of it coming like that, connecting with this muscle here. We can simplify this. You don't have to make it like really get all into the anatomy of it. You can simplify a lot of the anatomy. Which is what I'm attempting to do, but it seems like I'm adding more anatomy than I want to. Yeah, that one muscle kind of comes all the way like this and comes down like that on this side of the knee, and then you have your calf muscle like that. So it kind of overlaps each other. Show that overlapping line. You have this big muscle right here. It's like your shin bone muscle. Just going to lightly show that muscle there. And the calf muscle, which is kind of behind the leg. It's more behind than it is anything else. Let's see here, what else I want to think about. I know there's some more detail I can add in here, like I can add this, sometimes it's almost like a third muscle that kind of comes right on top of this muscle here. I'll put all this in darker shadow. Again, having a lot of the detail just disappear in the shadow there. There's a couple little muscles in here you can look at my anatomy course or anatomy book to see those muscles. I'm just going to kind of hint at it with a little bit of shadow there if you're wondering what that shadow is for. This whole like top part of the foot here is probably going to receive some shadow because of change of planes. And the underside of the foot there. I'm not going to add the toes and all that kind of stuff. So overall, it's starting to look pretty cool. And you can see, like real time, how long this can take to kind of like work this out. Now, I'm working on a lot of stuff in my brain too that I'm probably not talking about. But a lot of it comes naturally over time as well. Like that muscle right there that kind of gets more flat right in here. And when you have the leg lifted up, kind of comes in time that it does that. And then you're going to have, I got to think about this for a second. I know the easiest part for me to work with first is this kind of side muscle here and the kneecap. So I'm gonna kind of do the kneecap first. I know the kneecap kind of comes down like this, and then to have its strength right here. This is the main ball. I think that's the patella part. I can't remember the name of that muscle I was talking about up there. It's not the patella. The patella is right here. It's part of it. It's that little kneecap bone. Have some flesh right in here from that muscle that's flexing. And then you have that side muscle that's on the inside over here, kind of connects to the knee, kind of comes off like this. So we're actually seeing some of the under part of the leg. And that's where you have this kind of muscle right here, this under muscle, kind of almost looks like a triangle like this. I think there's a couple stringy muscles in there as well. So I kind of hint at them. I'm going to have some, fat tissue in here, some build up just a little bit. Everyone's going to have it, even a really muscular guy. So I want to kind of just show that with the wrinkles of skin. Now the leg is overshadowing the other part of the leg. This is you have these three muscles, remember? So you're seeing one, then you have that second one in the middle, right there. Maybe you'll see a little bit of that third one over there, and then I might be able to see a little bit more of that side muscle over there. I forget what it's called right now. So they kind of overlap each other. This whole part of the leg is going to be more in shadow and it's going to be darker. The light's going to be hitting mainly right there along this oval center part. Think about it first as a cylinder where the light's going to hit first. And then you can start, after you have that kind of lit up, then you can start adding the shadows in between for individual muscles. So I like most of my detail to be lost in the shadows. Trying to show the side plane of that knee there. To show this muscle just a little bit. This right here is going to be all pretty flat. Kinda. This area here is kind of pretty flat when it's viewed from the inside like this. Alright, so now we're getting to a hard part of this foreshortening now. I'm going to show a little bit of there's a little bone that sticks out right there. You can see from the side view you have your kneecap, patella, then you have your bone right here, tibia, kind of sticks out, and when the skin comes over, it kind of creates a shape like that. And when the knee bends, you can really see that because that point sticks out, and you can see it on your knee. But it's kind of the hard part here is it's kind of being foreshortened and turned away from us, so it looks a little different. And then I'm gonna have a really foreshortened part here. The calf is being, you know, I can either have the calf come over this, but I think in this case the calf might be underneath it. You see, let me bend my own leg and kind of see. It kind of smashes. They both kind of smash together actually, so let's kind of do that. I'm gonna kind of have the calf muscle sort of smashing. We're gonna have this muscle here kind of smashing together, so you have kind of a smashing of muscles like that. All this right under, all this under part here is gonna be in shadow, and that calf muscle again smash coming down to the ankle. This is where you got some foreshortening. And I'm gonna make the foot instead of way back there. I'm gonna make the foot more like right here because this is be more naturally how it would look. And those are little things you'd have to change as you're thinking about anatomy and things like that. And I have the toe here. I guess I can draw just a little bit of that toe and heel back here. Remember, the heel goes behind the ankle. And you have the other toes that come off like this at an angle. I'm just gonna kind of put those in shadow. This is the arch of the foot. I'm going to have that muscle right here. And then you have an overlapping here. I know this looks kind of strange because it's being foreshortened. I might show a little bit of that calf muscle right here. It's going to flex along with the shin muscle. I think that looks pretty good. And so there you have it, folks. Alright, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't already checked it out, go to Amazon and check out my book. Just type in "How to Draw Awesome Figures." It'll pop up there. It's still #1 seller in figure drawing. And it's a really good book. It's a really good reference book to be able to draw the human figure and then reference back to images that teach things. And I have a different teaching style, and I kind of represent that same teaching style in my books that I do in my courses. Of course, the way I teach like this live like this on the spot, and it's not a course, it's just a free video, or maybe one of my paid videos. The teaching style is a little more relaxed and laid back, not moving as fast, not necessarily as fast. I just kind of take my time more with it. Whereas in my courses they kind of move a little bit faster, but not in a bad way. Like, I still explain everything. It's not like I just skip out and don't explain stuff. Everything's still explained really well. Just maybe check out one of my courses. All my courses on Udemy have free lessons, so you can check out the free lessons. And then if you like the free lessons, you can go ahead and get the whole course. And there's a money back guarantee on all of them as well. So if you don't like it, you get money back. And that's backed by Udemy itself. That's not, I have no say in the matter. So if you ask for your money back, they give it back, and I have no say so. Right, so there you have it, folks. That's kind of cool, right? So he's just kind of like, he's kind of have this kind of arched to his whole body, and he's like kind of jumping up and back in the air. It's like getting ready maybe to fight, or maybe he's kind of jumping down. But I think it makes more sense he's kind of jumping back, like someone just kind of struck at him, and so he's jumping back away from it, up in the air, like superhero type stuff. All right, cool. I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Visit my site, masterpaintnow.com, for more free tutorials, and here on my YouTube channel as well. Also, feel free to check out my other YouTube channels. I have quite a few of them. Different subject matters and stuff, like how to race RC cars and rock crawl, and part of that also is video games tips and stuff. And then I also have a grow channel that my girlfriend helps out with, and then another channel that me and my girlfriend are going to be doing together, ASMR videos and meditation and guided meditation videos, hypnosis. So yeah, I haven't really started that channel totally yet, so that's why I haven't linked to it, but it'll be up soon. But maybe by the time you're watching this video, that'll already be linked there. And that's all on my channel's homepage. You'll see on the right hand side the other channels that I have that link to. All right, thanks for watching.